There is an entire industry built on lying to you about how long this actually takes. The boot camp providers tell you that you'll be qualified in 6 weeks. The YouTube videos with thumbnails promising 6 figures by Christmas. The Instagram brokers showing you their personal best month and pretending it happens every single time and also in their first year. And the course sellers and the influencers and the lead magnet hustlers all telling you the same convenient story. It's fast, it's easy, it's lucrative, it's painless. They are lying to you. And every single person who quits this career in year 1 quits because they believed those people. And here's the truth, nobody is going to profit from telling you. But becoming a mortgage broker takes 9 months easily. Becoming a mortgage broker who's still here in 3 years, that takes 18 months. The first one is a qualification, but the second one is a survival exercise. And most people confuse the two completely. And that confusion is what kills careers in this industry. So in this video, I'm going to fix that confusion, hopefully once and for all. The real timeline, every milestone and the 18-month window that decides absolutely everything that's going to go on with your career. Now, over the next few minutes of this video, I'm going to give you the honest end-to-end picture of how long CMAP actually takes when you've got a job and life, how quickly you can land your first role once you're qualified, how long training, supervision, and CAS really takes, and when you write your first deal, and most importantly, the 18-month window between qualifying and earning real money that defines who survives and who quits. The number to lock into your head before we start is 18 months, okay? Not 6 weeks, not 3 months, not a year if you really push it, 18 months. Hold that number because we're going to be coming back to that in the future. Let's do it. So let's get the easy bit out of the way first. The marketed timeline says that CMAP takes you around 6 weeks if you go full-time on a boot camp or something like that. Now that's technically true for some people. People can do that. Almost none of them though are watching this video. For someone studying around a full-time job with normal life, kids and partner, evenings already half full, 4 to 6 months is a genuine sustainable timeline. 3 to 5 hours a week is probably doable, and that's a rhythm that fits real life. You can move faster if you're between jobs and are able to do 8 to 10 hour weeks, but you can take longer if life is heavier. Neither matters, by the way. What matters is finishing, and most people who fail CMAP don't fail the exam, they fail the discipline of it. The textbook stays shut on Tuesday evenings, the exams get pushed back, 6 months becomes 9, becomes a year, becomes never. So plan 4 to 6 months for CMAP. That's probably it. Book the first exam before you ever feel ready. Study a bit every single day rather than cramming on Sundays. And whatever you do, do not try to do all 3 modules in parallel. Focus beats scatter every single time. That's milestone 1, you're qualified. Once you've passed CMAP, you're applying for trainee advisor roles. Most qualified beginners land their first role within 4 to 12 weeks of applying seriously. Apply broadly, interview frequently, treat the job search like the job itself. The brokers who get hired fastest aren't always the most qualified ones. They're the ones who can put in those reps. So you start the role and now the real work begins. 2 to 6 weeks of onboarding, inductions, system training, shadowing senior brokers, and then you start handling simple cases under close supervision. 3 to 6 months of supervised work before you really reach competent advisor status, and that's the milestone that lets you advise independently without sign-off. Now that is the qualification side of this journey completely done then. 12 to 14 months from the day you first book your CMAP to the day that you can legally advise on your own is probably going to be realistic. So here's the headline then that most people are searching for. You can be a fully qualified, fully autonomous UK mortgage broker in about 14 months from a standing start. That's the answer of how long does it take, but it's not really the question you should be asking. 18 months is the one that actually matters, because here's where the bootcamp providers, they stop telling the truth, to be honest. Being qualified and being autonomous is one thing. Earning real, consistent money is another thing entirely. And the gap between them, that's where the 18 months live. Let me paint the picture for you really, really clearly, because it's the most important section of this entire video, in my opinion. You're somewhere between month 4 and month 18 of your broker career. You've passed CMAP, you've reached CAS, or you're close, hopefully, and you're writing real cases. You're getting better every single week, and the job starts to feel doable. You can feel yourself actually growing and getting better. At this point, you are earning almost nothing. If you're employed, you're on a small basic with modest commission while you're building your numbers, maybe 22, 25 grand a year. Your commission portion is really not outweighing your basic yet because your case volume is still climbing. Your bank account looks much like it did the month before you started this whole journey. Now, if you're self-employed, the picture is significantly harsher. You might genuinely be earning low 4-figure months sometimes maybe even less than that. In those first 3 to 6 months, your lead pipeline has not matured yet. You are watching people on Instagram post about their personal best months while you're worrying about your next month's rent or mortgage. The contrast is brutal. And that gap between effort and reward, that is 18 months. And it's the only thing in this entire career that actually breaks people. It's not the qualification. It's not the lender criteria. It's not the clients. It's not the compliance. It's the gap between working harder than you've ever worked before and literally feeling like you're getting nothing for it. Most people quit precisely at exactly the wrong moment. Pipeline in this industry typically matures around month 12 to 18, the very point when the career switchers run out of money and they usually quit, at the exact same point when their income would have started to really climb. If they'd been there and they just held their nerve for another quarter, they were 3 months from breakthrough. They just never actually knew that was the case. That's the timeline that those bootcamp providers do not put on their landing page. That's the gap every successful broker in this country has had to survive. Now, why does the lie work so well? Well, because it sells courses, because it sells lead packages, because it gets clients, okay? The honest version, 14 months to qualified, 18 months before you make any real money. Honestly, 3 years to genuinely be thriving, that doesn't sell as well as a 6 weeks till you're rich type of mentality. So an entire ecosystem of people whose income depends on you signing up keeps shouting about these lies. Now, the truth is even harder than that. 3 years from a standing start to properly thriving broker career, that's real. That's a very real number. Most people would still sign up if you told them that honestly, because 3 years is nothing compared to 30 years of life-changing income. That comes after all of this. But the lie is easier. So the lie is then what most of the beginners hear. Now, you've heard the truth. Decide what you're going to do with it. So when does money actually become consistent? Well, if you're employed, your income starts to feel very real somewhere between month 12 and month 18. Once you've got cash, you're writing volume, and the commission portion starts to outweigh the basic, then by month 24, you should be settled into proper advisor earnings. Somewhere in that 40 to 60 grand range. More if you have higher volume and a stronger market, obviously. And if you're self-employed, consistent income usually arrives about month 14 to about month 24 by the back end of your year 2. Your pipeline probably by then should have been matured. Your remortgaging book is starting to build, and the lumpy months, they start to smooth themselves out a bit. Self-employed brokers who've planned properly are often in the 6-figure range easily by year 3. Either way, the number to internalize here is 2 years from a standing start to genuinely consistent income. Not 6 months, not a year, 2 years. Plan for it. So here's the bit the timeline videos never get to, and it's the bit that actually makes this career worth it in my opinion. By year 3, the back catalogue of clients you've helped in year 1 is starting to come back through remortgages. By year 5, you've got several cohorts of clients who are recycling through your business every 2 to 5 years. And you're earning income on the work you did 3, 4, 5 years ago, ideally. That's the type of clients I work with at that point. So the job stops being a treadmill and it starts becoming an asset. Each year of work doesn't disappear when the year ends. It sits in the background quietly, generating remortgage income and referrals for the rest of your career. Again, that's another bit the bootcamp providers can't sell you because it requires you to still be here in 3 years' time, which means it requires you to survive that first 18 months, which means it requires you to plan honestly for the timeline most of them just don't want to admit to. So let me give you the full answer in one place. If you mean qualified to legally advising, about 14 months from a standing start. If you mean competent and confident, probably about 18 months. If you mean earning consistently good money, 2 years. If you mean running a career that pays you for decades, 3 to 5 years. All of those answers are true. Trick is knowing which one you're actually asking about and planning for the right one. Let me say the thing that I have to say to you, even though it's uncomfortable. People plan for the timeline they want, not the timeline they're actually going to live through. They'll tell themselves they'll be qualified in 3 months. They'll earn 40 grand by month 9. They'll earn 6 figures by month 18, when really the reality is going to land and the timeline turns out to be significantly longer. They panic, they blame the industry, they blame the people, they blame everyone around them, and they quit. But the brokers who succeed plan for long-term timelines. Set your expectations against the honest version. 14 months to qualify, 2 years to consistent income, 3 years to genuine prosperity. And anything faster than that is just a bonus. So now you have the timeline, the map, the honest version of how this actually unfolds from your first day to your first proper paycheck. The next video to watch is right here on this channel. It's how hard is it to really become a mortgage broker? Timelines tell you when things happen, but they don't tell you what those 18 months actually feel like, the discipline gap, the imposter feeling, the money zone. That's where most people drop out, and that's the survival manual. So you want to check out that one right now.